Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. I bid to Dr. Guna. My name is Nur Aiman Nabilah binti Rahim. I am from TESOL D. Today, my teammates and I would like to present our literature assignment entitled Boys and Girl. This story is written by Alice Munro. So, before I tell you a little bit, I tell you the summary of the short story, I would like to tell a little bit about the author, about the writer. So, Alice Munro is actually a Canadian writer. In this story, she wants to expose the orthodoxy and the narrow-mindedness of the Canadian society towards women after the World War II. And in this short story, the writer wants the readers to know what is the conditions of the woman in the Canadian society after the World War II, about how they are treated, about the emotions of the women, their mental health, their psychologicals, and all that. So, we move to the summary of the short story. So, I'll tell briefly about the summary. So, the protagonist of this story is actually a Canadian girl who is at the age of 11 years old. At this age, she begins to experience those differences that parents come to expect from her as a female, because she is at the age growing up to become a female at that time. And in this family, it consists of 4 family members. The first one is her father, her mother. Her father actually owns a forge barn, and her mother is a housewife. And the protagonist, the third one is the protagonist, and the fourth one is her younger brother named Lade. In this story, Alice Munro doesn't give the protagonist any name. It is different from her brother, where Alice Munro give her a specific name. The reason why Alice Munro doesn't give her a specific name, because Alice Munro wanted to show to the readers that the protagonist is someone who does not have an identity and does not have any power of her own. And this is different to her brother, where her brother gets a name, where it want to show that he is more important from her, and he is the one who has the power in the family. The protagonist of this story is actually, she is having a conflict about her own self between the identity of being a girl like her mother, or the identity being like her father as a boy. The main conflict in this story is about the different expectations between a girl and a boy. This is where the protagonist is having conflict, because she's thinking like she wants to be a boy, but the fact that she is a girl, and she is having mixed feeling and struggle to find her identity. And actually, the feminist criticism is very obvious in this short story. It revolves around the aspects of culture that are inherently patriarchal, where in this society male dominated everything, and it aimed to expose misogyny in writing about women, which can be seen explicitly and implicitly. The first theme that I would like to present from our group is about submitting into the society expectation. So, in this story, the protagonist is trying her best to submit into the society expectation, even though she doesn't want, but she need to submit into the society expectation. As we know, as I mentioned before, that the protagonist is struggling to find her own identity, and she tried to express what she feel towards Flora. Flora is actually a horse that they take care, but they didn't take care Flora as a pet actually, but they take care Flora as a source of food for their fox, as the protagonist's father owns a fox barn. So Flora has the same characteristics as the protagonist, where the protagonist in this short story, she is very active, she's quite rebellious, where she always reply to what her mom said to her. She doesn't want to do what her mom asked her to do. And it this is the same to Flora. Flora is a rebellious, powerful, an active horse, where she run really fast despite her age. Flora is quite old for the age of a horse. And the day that they want to kill Flora, Flora ran away from the protagonist's father. They tried to kill her, but she managed to run because she was so happy to that they bring her out to an open space. So when they want to kill her, they are having a conflict where Flora ran away and they need to run to catch Flora. The moment Flora is running near to the gate, her father shouted to the protagonist. He asked her to close the gate, as she is the only one standing near to the gate. But instead of closing the gate, she actually opened the gate as wide as she can. Okay, in this text, there's a sentence where the protagonist said, "I did not make any decisions to the accident, but it was just what I did." This shows that she identifies her feelings toward the horse. The protagonist's feeling towards the horse is somewhat the same as her feeling toward herself, where, as I mentioned just now, they have the same characteristic. Actually, for the protagonist, she wants to run free and do whatever she feels she wants to do, but she does not want to be held back by the chains of the society, as she's living in a society where men are domain at that time. So she needs to follow what the society want. And in this short story also, her grandmother always tell her that, "You girl, you can't do this. You need to sit politely, like what a girl, like how a girl sit. You need close the door politely, close the door slowly." All that things that what her grandmother always tell her. But she tried her best to be like how a girl should behave, but deep inside herself she wants to be her own self. But due to the society expectation, she can't do that. She needs to follow what the society want her to be. And actually, when she opened the gate for Flora, she know that for Flora also, there are no wild country that will accept Flora, because she knows that how far Flora ran away, eventually the villagers will call her father and tell they found Flora. So that's what she feels actually. Even though she tried her best to change her identity, to do what she wants to do, to follow her feelings, but she can't do that because the society will keep looking at her. So even though deep inside her heart she wants to be someone, she wants to be her own self, she doesn't want to be someone, she wants to be her own self, but she can't. She need to be someone that the society want her to be. And this is because the society see a girl as someone who is not significant on the society. So as you are not significant in the society, you need to follow what the society want. So this show that the protagonist is submitting herself, her own self, into the society expectation. She tried to meet what the society want. She tried her best to act like what the society expect from her as a girl. So this is the first evidence shows that the feminist criticism in this story is shown, where a girls need to behave like what the society want. You as a girl, you can't do what you want to do. You need to meet the expectations of the society. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you.